you and Letonya come up and talk real quick?
Okay, I'll be very brief. My purpose here is a tad bit different, I think, than anyone else. Like Mike mentioned, my name is Letonya Moore. My legal career defending companies against employment discrimination and other employment matters, certainly well versed in what is going on at the EEOC. Most recently, I've actually switched sides, and now I do represent plaintiffs in the case. And so I won't repeat what has been said here about the new EEOC guidance, but what I will tell you is that my experience is that the things that you've heard here are absolutely true. That is where the EEOC is going, certainly from an employment standpoint. And what we've done with our company is that we do two things. We actually we help employers like yourself and to create your programs. We look at what you're presently doing with regard to the background checks, and then we, of course, give you counsel and consultation and advice on how to make those programs a little bit more foolproof and better so that you are in compliance with the law as it presently stands. I do want to say that in my experience in working with these type of programs, and there are several studies out there, I don't have time to go over them, but I do have my information for you guys that would like for me to share that information with you. There are several studies out there on recidivism that absolutely support what everyone here has said. You know, you have to think in terms of yourself. You know, think about the very first person who gave you a chance. Think about the very first person who believed in you. Think about the first company. When I go back, and I tell people this story all the time, because when I was looking to go to law school, I was the first person in my family to ever go to college. I was like the third to ever complete high school. So to think I could be an attorney was, everybody was like, okay, poor little thing. She's quite delusional. But in a chance meeting when I was in college, I was talking to a man and I was saying to him, I really want to go to law school, but you know what? I don't know anybody who can help me. I don't even know what to do. And he said, really? Well, how are your grades? So I didn't realize he was really just trying to figure out, do I want to take a chance on this young lady? Had no clue, gave him the information. He said, send me your resume. I sent him my resume on Monday. On Tuesday morning, I got a call from the presiding circuit judge in the county where I lived, who said, I'd like to offer you a job. And I said, well, are you sure you have the right person? Because I never applied for this job. And he said, I know. So-and-so called and said, I needed to give you a chance. And what am I saying with that story? I'm not making it all about me, but what I am saying is, when you have people like the people that they've described, who all they're saying is, just give me a chance. Give me a chance to show you that I can make it. Because that's really what I was saying. And now this is why I'm standing before you, is what I'm saying. This is why you have Mr. Walker, Mike Jones, Kenneth Royer. That's why you have these people, because at some point someone said, I'm willing to give them a chance. Now back to the EEOC guidance. Like I said, everything that you've heard is absolutely true. With my company, my goal is that we don't have to have those type of cases. You know, my goal is that we can be a little bit more proactive on the front end. And so what Breaking the Cycle and my company, we've partnered there in Atlanta. And one thing that we've done is we've created a holistic model to this entire process. So just to quickly go through that, when a person is referred to us from, let's say, a pardons and parole or a parole officer or probation officer, they go through the Breaking the Cycle program. For people that are going on the entrepreneurship track, like he mentioned, they also go through our entrepreneurship boot camp. But at the end of both of those programs, they receive an assessment that Ken can talk a little bit more about it. It's a skills-based assessment that is individualized for that person. And what happens is, at the end of that assessment, you know right there, day one, what is their propensity for success. So for example, what are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? And what we do, we've been working to build relationships in the Atlanta area where we push them in that direction. So for example, if your assessment says you're a great salesperson, we work with our contacts. We have a list of those, and we say, these are the places that we want you to target first, and tell them that we sent you. That's what we're working to do. And on the backside with these companies, they know that. They know what our program is about. And so what we're saying, what the companies have said is, we are willing to give your people a chance. It's not a requirement. Let me make sure I say this. It's not a requirement that they hire people just because they come through our program. But what they are saying is, we're going to say, okay, you're otherwise eligible. We're not going to necessarily worry about your criminal conviction, but they also have to disclose that. So what we're saying is full disclosure up front. We're giving you a tool that says this person is qualified for this position that you've described. Now it's up to you to decide whether or not you can move beyond this one thing and hire this person who is clear that they're qualified. Okay, so let's back up. Again, I now am a plaintiff's attorney. So what happens when you don't do that? If they come back to us and they say, well, the only reason that I was not hired is because of this, there's nothing else, there's this. We certainly would want to work with that company to say, we'd ask you to take another look at this, we'd ask you to reconsider, we would invite you to review your policy in light of the new EEOC guidance. And we're hopeful that they will do that. Because of course the alternative is, what do we mean? Because remember, our entire partnership is really built on the premise of prevention of recidivism. That's really what we're saying. And what we're saying is, let's partner to make sure that these folks that are returning citizens get the chance that they need so that we don't have to worry about someone that's in that revolving door. And so I'll leave it there. I'll stop it there, and I'll let Ken talk a little bit more about the assessment. If you have any questions about any of the training programs that we have for employers, if you have any questions about if some of your constituents have questions regarding EEOC guidance and things like that, I can give you my information, and you can just reach out to me directly.